Hey, what is up, B fam? Welcome to another fun Friday. And today we have one of our near and dear friends to enjoying your blended family, but you may not think you know them because they've actually had a little name change since the last time that we shared their product and their heart with you. And so now it's called Take Me With You. And so these boxes are these travel boxes that we get shipped to our door, and it's over a certain country. And Randall and I, mostly Randall and I, but a lot of them here lately, we've included the whole family in because of the type of activity our whole family will love. It comes to our door, and we get to embrace new cultures and spend quality time together and just make some new memories. This used to be travel date nights. And we'll get with Mandy in just a second, and she will explain maybe a little bit behind the rebranding and some things that they changed up. But just know you have heard from them before. We've talked about some of the dates that Randall and I have gone on in previous episodes. And so today we're going to go a little bit deeper in what is included in your Take Me With You box and why behind those things. And then a little bit of a bonus towards the end of some other things that they have available for you. So stick with us right after this. All right, so we are back. And Mandy, before we get started, even though some people may already know about you, they've heard you on any of our other podcasts, can you go ahead and just share a little bit about yourself, your family dynamics, and what got you started into these Take Me With You boxes?
Yes, Carla, I'm so glad that you invited me back on. Our last conversation was awesome. And we have since kind of both kicked our hubbies out of the picture a little bit, right? So we're just, we're
Girl
soloing
talk.
it here. This is where the real party is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am a mom. I have two teenage boys. They are probably some of my best friends, right? They're really amazing. And I will tell you why I say that in a minute. But I have two teenage guinea pig girls that share my office with me. So I'm not alone during the day when I'm working. And my husband and I have been traveling for quite some time now. We have always had travel in our veins, flowing through our blood, right? We've always had this desire to see the world in whatever way that we could. And so that's kind of the I don't know how to explain it. It's probably something I inherited. My grandpa had the most amazing passport, multiple passports, because he would fill them up, and I would look at all of the stamps in his passport and just think, wow, I want to do this someday. I want to see the world like he has seen it. And but then, we got married, and we got a house, and we got a car payment, and we started to kind of settle into this newlywed life, and realized that we couldn't travel like we, these big hopes and dreams that we had, right? And we at one point thought maybe we could be full-time travelers. We thought that we could just sell our house and just pack up and enjoy the world from that way. But it didn't quite work out, and we didn't actually try, because we found out that every one of us in our house has some kind of mental health struggle. So we felt like it would just be a better, more supportive thing for us to have some roots and have a house. And so we just kind of go as often as we can, as often as the 9-to-5 jobs let us, right? And just see the world as we can. So that's really at the root of why we do what we do, because we know how it feels to not be able to see the world as often as we want to. So that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so funny to hear you say that, because I know I had the same dreams and ambitions about traveling the world, and my young adult kids all say the same thing now. They're like, "Oh yeah, we just want to travel. I just want to travel. I just want to travel." And it's like, babe, you're gonna have a hard time just paying your electric bill. Like, It's not that easy just to go travel. I mean, yes, before you start a family, maybe a little bit more easier in that. And then a lot of you guys know too, we had the same idea last year. As soon as we became empty nesters, we were selling it, we were getting an RV, we were going to travel the world. And we were just so ready. The world is so big. There's so much to see. And our heart is just to experience all of that, experience the culture out there, experience God's creation and beauty and everything. And then we got a new grandbaby. And our house would not sell because the market crashed and our house had mold. And so it was like one thing after another. And it was like our dreams came crashing down on us. But we have been very fortunate to still have these little trips that we have been able to take. We've fallen in love with camping in and near in our state. And then, of course, we have y'all's date boxes that come in every other month. And so we get to experience that culture in a new way. And just like this last month, London, I mean, it has always been on the radar, I guess, as far as like going to England, but not necessarily like London. London is in England, right?
Right.
Geographically, that's correct. I got me a new map that I posted up here, and I have one upstairs too in another room I work in because I'm not very geographical. And so when we're learning these places, I want to be able to like go there and see where it's at and see what is in the surrounding areas. And so it's just one of those places like, yeah, that would be cool. But I really got into like Harry and Meghan Markle's like their story because it came on Netflix. And now I'm listening to his I guess it's a memoir or something, his book that he
Yeah.
wrote. And then with the passing of the queen and them having, new royalty come in and all of that stuff, watching Bridgerton, all the things.
Yeah, London is having a moment, right?
Yes.
That's and to be honest with you, we knew the coronation was coming up, so we kind of timed it just right so that we could take advantage of all the things that were happening in London at the time and just kind of ease it right in there and make it really easy for everybody.
Yeah, and y'all do a really good job with pairing that because I know last month I didn't realize the Ukraine box was going to be revolving around Easter until I opened the box up the week of Easter and I was like, "Oh crap. I need this right now." And so I am very pumped about using the things I learned this time as my next Easter with the kids in the way that they etch things on the eggs. I just thought that was the most gorgeous, beautiful thing that I've ever seen. I never knew that was something that they did in the Ukraine. And of course, I'm sure you chose Ukraine as being that support because of everything that they are going through as
Yeah.
well. And so, I mean, y'all are just doing a fantastic job of taking these cultural things and immersing it into our everyday life so that we are more aware of life and things and culture going on around us. So I do want to know that, like, for our listeners, like our B fam, that they've heard us talk about these boxes, but they haven't committed to getting one themselves because they're like, I don't know if this is something for me. I know that you've also written, I just want to put this disclaimer before you start talking, Mandy, that you wrote a blog post about these 5 things that you can do to embrace culture in your house and these travel things. And so when you're listening to her talk about the different things that are in there, and I'll add that in the show notes as well, so y'all can read that podcast. There is a free way to do this, and we are budget friendly people here. So we like to share that. But if you're someone that's like, I would prefer to have it done for me and land on my doorstep so I don't have to do all the behind the scenes work and everything of thinking of it, that is where these boxes come in handy. So could you just start out by telling us like these key components that are inside each box when you're learning about the new culture?
Yeah, I love that you said that. And you always do such a great job of explaining how to use the things in the box and talking about what's inside. One of the hardest things that we've had in marketing our box is a lot of people who buy subscription boxes are used to boxes of stuff, right? So I won't mention names, but there are a lot of boxes that are just packed full of items, lots of different things, and that's great. Plenty of people enjoy them. I mean, it's the subscription box industry is gigantic right now, and great. I love it. People enjoy that stuff. But for me, I am not a stuff person. I like my experiences. I love to be able to use things up in a thoughtful way, without adding more clutter, and also, in environmentally friendly ways as much as we can. So inside the box, you're always going to find some kind of activity that aligns you with that country that we're exploring. So for this month, for London, we did a tea infuser with a little packet of London loose leaf tea, which everything is sourced from the country that we're talking about as much as we possibly can. So and then the next thing that we put in there to kind of go along with the activity was this super cute notebook, designed by this woman who lives in the UK, and I just fell in love with her design. So I bought a bunch of stuff and put them in my shop, because I'm like, everybody needs to buy all this cute stuff that she's selling, right? But there is just such a fun, I don't know, such a fun feeling when you see items handmade by people around the world who have the same kinds of values that you do, that you want to appreciate an item for its usefulness, for its beauty, and not just something that was cheaply manufactured in some gigantic factory and, paid somebody pennies on the dollar to make. So that's kind of a core value that we have in our company, that we want to make sure we're sourcing all of these things to help you with your life, but to not harm anybody else in the manufacturing of it. So so you're always going to find that activity and things that will help you support that activity. Maybe it could be maybe there's a food mix that we include one month, or maybe there's a table setting that just kind of transports you to that place that we're talking about. But all the activity supplies just kind of vary based on the country that we're talking about, right? And then there is a full color magazine that it's kind of one of those things that's a little bit near and dear to my heart, because I put a lot of effort into it, but I design it and I write the whole thing. And
Oh,
it's
let me
got lots
just,
of fun.
if you're watching on YouTube, this is it. Look at the beautiful color. It's a very, and I love how you started mapping it. Um, I think it's been in the last two that I've got. Is that part of the rebranding where it's like start here,
Yeah.
then this?
Yeah. And what we want for you is, when you open that box, we want it to almost be like almost like a magic lamp or a magic carpet or something that just kind of you're all of a sudden, now you're in this new place, and if only for the night, if only for a few hours, now you are magically in London, right? And so we want to walk you through what it would feel like if you were there, and really just kind of embrace all of those senses that we can. One of the things that we put on the inside of the box when you first open it up, there's usually a little QR code there that has a link to a Spotify playlist. And so if you turn on that playlist while you're unboxing everything and you're looking through it, it really just like gets you. It makes you feel like you're there. This month, I'll say my seventh grader helped me make the playlist, which he's a music kid, so he loves all things music, but he had a big say in what we included on that list. So if you like it, you have him to thank. If you don't, you have him to thank. But it was a lot of fun to work with him.
Is the playlist the same as when you open the box? I haven't ever did that QR code, but I do the one inside the magazine. Is it the same playlist? Or two
It
different?
depends on the box. Sometimes
Okay.
we will put different things inside. So always check that, put that QR code on the inside, because that's going to be that first little taste that you have before you even start unboxing everything. But this time is kind of a walk through time, I guess we would say. Like it's London music as it's evolved from, in the 60s, really is where we began. And so now we've got some current artists at the end of the playlist. So if you make it all the way through, it's kind of a long playlist. We typically don't make it as long as we did this time, but if you make it through, you'll get to the current artists at the end. But
I have a
just,
funny story. You don't have any
yeah,
kids right now, do you?
they're in another room, so they can't hear me.
Okay, okay. So Randall and I did London date night box this last week. We went out to eat. We have a little pub that, has the same feel like London food. I got like the signature, it said London in the title of whatever the food. It was like a smothered steak kind of thing. And then we came home and we did a virtual tour because that's what was in the box. It was a YouTube video. And so we're traveling through the streets of London. And then, we went to the bedroom to have a little bit of afterwards fun. And so we put the playlist on. And I will tell you, we were laughing in the middle of our fun time because it wasn't quite lovemaking songs.
Nope. I love it. Oh my gosh, this is the best story ever.
It was hilarious because I don't think we've ever just stopped and we were like, what are we listening to right now? But I think one of the very first songs was like, oh man, I'd have to think it was appropriate for what we were doing, just very like fast paced, and it was funny. It was very funny. And so we have that memory now. Just I know that wasn't y'all's plan, but
I love it. I love it. And really our boxes are they're family friendly always, but I love that you guys use it as a date night because that really is where you get to make those connections. And now you have a great connection. You have a great story about the funny time when the playlist did not go along with what you hoped it did.
yes, and I mean for it being family friendly and just and I want us to get back into it, but I just want to share with our listeners some of these moments and how special these things are because I know you don't realize when you're putting it together how certain things can affect other people in their family, but for us when I shared a little bit on social media with this, but when my grandma passed back in 2017, we had a tea party every Mother's Day. Every Mother's Day up until she passed, the women would all sit down. We would dress up fancy. And, it's always on a Sunday. So it's usually after church. We might wear a big hat. And my son and my husband would serve us our like little sandwiches. We would always have like a chicken salad and we would buy all the variety of teas that you could ever think of. And they would serve me, my mom, my grandma, my nieces, whoever came to the Mother's Day that year. And when she passed, it was too hard for me to keep it up. I tried and I said, this is too much. I can't. I don't want to. And so we weren't going to do it. And then we opened up the box. It had the tea party in there. It came with the little tea diffuser. And so I said, you know what? Let's do it. We'll bring the tea party back. And we brought it back and we used the kids are my kids are adult kids, and my husband, they love the diffuser with the tea and tasting the stuff that y'all put in there. And it just caused, again, one of those moments where it brought our family together to connect with each other. And then we have new family members that our foster adopted daughter hasn't ever experienced the tea party because she came in the same year that my grandma passed. And then also my daughter-in-law and the grandbaby haven't ever experienced it. So we were able to open that up to them and we already have next year's theme planned out. And that all happened because it was suggested in the box.
I love it. I love it. And you're right. We have no idea what happens once that box leaves our hands. We hope and it's our prayer that we kind of influence people to step outside their comfort zone and encourage them to have some kind of memory that they create together. But we kind of just let it go and we just let it be and hope that whatever happens is meant to happen. And so I love it. I love that you shared that with me.
Okay, so we have yeah, okay, you go ahead. What else is
there? Yeah. So there's always an activity and supplies. There's always going to be recipes inside that magazine, whether it's maybe one mega recipe that's kind of hard and more involved, or maybe there's a bunch of small ones. So this month we did a couple of little tea sandwich recipes that were pretty easy to do. And then, where we can, we like to put snacks inside the box. So something that's maybe not very well known, we sample everything that we put in there with our kids before we actually put it inside the box. So I will go either to a local international grocer or I'll order things online and have them shipped in. And then we do a big taste test and everybody gets to have their say, like, yes, we got to include that, or That's terrible, Mom. Please don't make anybody try that. And I will admit, I have put some things in the box that my kids didn't like, but I felt really strongly about including them because they were a local favorite, or, things that maybe our taste buds aren't used to sampling, but if you try it once, you might actually kind of like it. So, we sometimes it's great things, and sometimes it's just trust us, just try it. If you don't like it, throw it away, no big deal. But we like that element of including the food as a big part, because as travelers, most of the time when we go somewhere, it's because we heard there was a really good restaurant that we needed to try, or that there was some kind of food that we needed to try. So food is central to who we are for sure as a family. But so as much as we can, we put snacks in, or things that you can sample.
Do you
And
get
let's see what
those
else. Oh,
from
there's
do you usually get them from, like, a local market that has stuff from that country, or do you order them on Amazon, or how do you
both, a little bit of both. I try not to get things from Amazon because you can never count on quality. And I just like to know that I'm supporting the people that I want to support. And I don't know who I'm supporting on Amazon usually. So I will try to make connections with people from the countries that we are exploring, either just so that they can help me pick out the right things. So when we did Ukraine, I actually have a friend locally who's from Ukraine. And so she took me to the European market, and we picked out all of these Ukraine things. And she picked out some pretty crazy things for us. My kids were like, whoa, we're not going to have that again. But it was so much fun to just sample, and just to think, wow, our palates are totally different, and that's okay. It's totally okay. But yes, I
Yeah.
try to source them direct from the countries as much as I can. And I live here in Utah, but it's close to Salt Lake City. So I am fortunate that we have access to really cool restaurants and really cool grocery stores. And I understand a lot of people don't have that luxury like we do. So I can drive 20 minutes, and I can pass by at least 30 international restaurants. I mean, it's
Wow.
it's amazing. You wouldn't think it, because you think Utah's a little backwards maybe, but we are quite the melting pot. So at least around Salt Lake City anyway. So yeah, food. You got me talking about food. I could like tangent on food forever. Another thing that we include in the box that is kind of going to get a facelift, and that will be maybe that's an insider knowledge that your
Oh,
fans
no.
get to know. We include a little stamp that is some kind of icon or some image that shows basically like a passport stamp. So we have these cute little passports that we made, and you get to put this sticker in that tells, that you can record your memory. There's a little place in your book that you can write.
Wait.
And
So where do you get that? Because I've always wondered, I'm like, "Oh, it says something about your passport, but I don't have a passport book."
have we never given you a passport? Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you this. We are rebranding them. We're giving them a facelift. And so I will make sure that we give you you will be the first one to get
Oh,
our
yeah.
new
Okay.
improved passport. I'm like, I feel so horrible. I've never given you a passport.
I think it's probably because the way we came about, like it was more like we started this podcast interview type thing before it was just like a customer in a sense. So it's probably where it was somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I apologize. But now you've got all these fun little stickers that you can put in. So
Yes, I'm
when
very
you get
excited.
your new passport, there will be a place for you to put that sticker in, and then you can write down a memory. So when you put your London one in, you might have to like filter what memory you record in your passport, or you
Oh,
might just
I
say
want the grandchildren to find it.
QR code memory. You'll have some code, like some playlist not appropriate memory. I don't know what you'll say, but we love this element because it's kind of a collectible. So if you miss out on one, you will, nothing's going to happen to you if you miss out on one of the boxes. But it's just you missed out on the sticker. You didn't get to collect your stamp for the month. So we're going to do a little bit of a facelift on them. So hopefully they'll be cuter and more interactive, and that passport will be maybe more front and center. I don't know. I'm a memory keeper. I love scrapbooking. I love writing down little notes and journals and stuff. So that hopefully that becomes something. It's
Yeah.
in process.
No, I love that. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I may have taken all the stuff out because we used all of it.
Yeah,
But
so there's always this little map inside that shows you where this country is geographically, and we're hopefully doing a better job of it so that you can see from a world's perspective like where it is. But yeah, show them that cute box
yeah,
again.
let me show you. Okay, because this is part of their rebrand. They have this adorable box now. When it came to my doorstep this month, I was like, oh, I love it. It's so cute. And so when you open it up, so you have to be watching on YouTube right now if you want to actually see this. If you're on the podcast, then we'll explain it a little bit. So here's what she was talking about. When you open it up, it has that QR code. You scan that and have the music playing for you as you're opening it, and then it explains what's inside. And then here's the, is this the map part you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the map.
Okay.
So in this one, because we picked a city to discover this month, it's kind of not super accurate, I'll say, as far as where all of the points of interest are on the map. We did the best we could to show you, if you were driving along, this is kind of where you would come across a lot of these places. But we like to give you just kind of an idea for where things are located, so that maybe when you visit someday, you have more of an idea of, oh, the bridge really isn't that close to the palace, for example. So that would take you a little bit longer. It's not just a walking, it's not within walking distance. Don't try to walk there. But I don't know, just to give you kind of a lay of the land. So, and then on the back of that map, we do a little bit of a step-by-step. Here's how to enjoy everything in the box. And we do that because we find that people can get a little overwhelmed with what's inside too. And also it's just a good direction. Like step 1, you do this, step 2, you do this, but we always theme it in a fun way. So for Japan, we talked about, the different elements of, the calm atmosphere that they create in Japan. And so we kind of keyed it that way a little bit. This way it's more of a road trip. And so there's little destination bubbles along your road trip that you're checking out. So
yeah, and I did want to say that too with the boxes. That's one of the really cool things is we only know what we experience here in the United States, because that's what, culturally that's what we do. But like with the Japan box, and you had the forest bathing, which I just thought was hilarious that they call it forest bathing. So I'm like, what is this? And then it was like, oh, you go into the woods and you experience all of your 5 senses in the woods. I mean, except tasting, of course, unless you find something that is safe. But I took the grandbaby, which I know you probably saw the reel that I created that, and we went and we sat and just kind of went through that moment together. And that is something, it's a piece of that box, a piece of that culture, but it's something that I have now that I have even told my kids about. They love, going on walks in the woods too. And I'm like, oh, well, do you know about forest bathing? I have friends coming up with me like, what the heck is forest bathing? Like, so it opens up this conversation about other cultures, but it also teaches you other ways. Like you may talk about, prayer, meditation and stuff, but you get to see like in these other cultures how they do certain things to embrace certain parts of life, especially like mental health is a big thing that's going on in our culture, and being able to take your family and teach them ways to just be present in the moment. I love that you included that.
yeah, and to be honest with you, it came from when we were in Japan. We went to this bamboo forest, and we arrived a little bit later in the afternoon, but we thought, well, the sun is still up. We're okay. We've got a little bit of time. Took us quite a while to actually walk to the place where, this famous bamboo forest that everybody knows about. By the time we got there, the light was just pretty minimal, and so we were walking through the bamboo in the dark, and well, in dusk, right? And so it was actually kind of creepy. My kids were terrified. I mean, they're teenagers, but they were a bit scared. So we had our flashlights on our phone and we turned it into one of the coolest memories while we were there, because it didn't really, we didn't get to experience it like we had hoped. But then we ended up taking all of our phones and we kind of created this scene where we lit us in the middle of this bamboo forest. And then my husband's camera, we put on a tripod and took this picture. And it is the coolest, creepiest picture, but such a fun memory. And we were teasing each other about like, someone's coming to get you in the middle of the forest. And I don't know, it was just so fun. And so, we did our own little forest bathing to like, it's okay, we're safe, nothing's coming, it's fine, enjoy the beautiful scenery. And then as we were leaving, we had to actually pass by this cemetery that was just beautiful. I had never seen a Japanese cemetery before, which was really cool. And just taking it all in and just being quiet, because my kids were a little bit frightened, weren't noisy, and so they were just experiencing everything. And we wanted to bring that experience back for the subscribers, just so that you could see what it was like to be quiet and to calm your mind and to just sit and ponder no matter what was happening in your life. So, and I love that you took your grandbaby. She was so cute out there just enjoying herself. You could just see she was calm and enjoying life. And I love that you took that and made it your own, made it, in whatever. You don't have a bamboo forest that you can go and
Yeah.
enjoy, but you did what you could, and I love it.
I will say I had a similar experience with her the next time when I tried to go running with her in the woods and we went too late and we got locked in. They actually closed a gate and I could not get over with her and the stroller and had to call for help. And she was screaming, crying because it was dark. And anyway, so I'm feeling you. I feel your pain there when you get yourself, don't go into the woods when it's too close to nighttime, guys.
We have learned our lessons.
Yes. So, and then I was going to show, here's the beautiful journal that you had on there. And let's see, and this cute little magnet. Let's see, I'm
I
showing the
just
wrong
love her
thing.
designs. I think they're so cute.
Yes, they're super cute. So,
And
and that's, I've already used all the other stuff in my box.
no, you're good. And I think there's something to be said for how, when you travel, if you were to go to London today, you would pick out your own souvenirs, right? You would pick out things that meant something to you or reminded you of something that you saw. And my goal is not to turn this into a souvenir box. You can find your own things, and really you don't want souvenirs from a place, maybe you don't want souvenirs from a place that you haven't been to. So I'm not trying to turn this into a souvenir box by any means. I really want you to experience the country in a way that in whatever way that you can from your home. And I don't know about you, but if I could go to a new country every other month, like that seems like the life for me. So this is our way, right, of experiencing a new country every other month. We used to do this on a monthly basis, but we felt like it was becoming a lot for people. And so we kind of backed off, and this is just more of a casual thing. You have a new experience that you can do without feeling rushed to hurry and have to take it on every month, and I don't want to add more to your burden. I don't want you to have a pile of boxes that you're not actually experiencing. I want this to be a full immersive thing. And sometimes that takes a little while. So that's
Yes.
why we do it that way.
Man, there's so many, like, I know even the questions I had planned to ask you today, and we're not going to have time to probably get to all of them, but I do want to hit a few key points in there. First, that when you mentioned your shop, you said it earlier. So, for those of y'all that don't know exactly, there is a shop on their website where they're taking things from that country and putting them on the shop so that you can go and get them. So like for the Ukraine box, you had, which I didn't go on there. I think this is what it said, but it had the like etching tool, right?
Yeah, we've actually sold out of that one. So whatever is left is kind of what's left. And that's how we treat our boxes too. So if we have boxes left over, we'll put them on our site, but once they're sold out, that's it. We don't restock. because we're going to move on to a new country, and so we'll bring more stuff in.
Yes. So the shop on there, just know like, okay, there might be some things from that culture that, like, oh, yeah, we could go get this, and know that you are supporting a small business in that area. That's the whole purpose of that. And to just give you more ideas and things that have already been like vetted in that area. So you'll know, okay, yeah, 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 this is good. So there's that. And then also, okay, two things I want to cover before we wrap up. First off is there a story like of somebody that has shared with you on how the Take Me With You box has just created this moment or this memory? I know I shared a couple, but something that's just near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, we don't often get a whole lot of feedback unless we just pry and beg and plead. Tell us what you're doing with this box. But one of my favorite stories is just that they are a family who has never left the country, and they've never left the United States, and they don't often even leave their own state, and they have 6 kids. They are probably what would be considered a lower income family, and their hopes for traveling the world are really small, or that's pretty far out there, that they don't have that opportunity in their life to go and adventure out. And but they still want that for their kids. They still want to be able to show them these other countries, and so they subscribe to the box so that they can show their kids, just in whatever glimpse that they can, so that they can show their kids. And I love this story because this is my hope, that it just inspires them. And I have created my own dream for, that one of their little girls, she's just so cute. I have a dream for her that she grows up and moves out of the house and becomes a world traveler because of what she was inspired by. But just the things that she has said about what these experiences do for her, and how excited she is to learn about a new country when the box arrives. And I think that really means more to me than anything else. Just what is possible for her because she was exposed to different cultures and communities, and trying new things that maybe they wouldn't try without our guidance. So I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that story too. And it is because the box is 56, right? 57 for a box if you're getting the month, or you can sign up for the 6-month subscription, and that has like a discount, right? Like if you're getting 6 months at a time.
We actually decided not to do discounts anymore. Instead of doing discounts, we're doing gifts with purchase. But right now we're just doing the month-to-month subscription. And then come around the holidays, we'll do some specials there. So we'll bring in some really cool, like Christmas and around the world kinds of things. And that's a little sneak peek for you too. We're going to bring in some cool things. So if you sign up then, or if you are already a subscriber, you get kind of grandfathered into the freebies that we do around those times. So those are really the only times where we'll do a longer term, just because we want people to feel comfortable with enjoying it, and if they need to take a pause for a little bit, that they can still do that. So we don't want to be the kind of subscription box that is not family friendly. We understand lots of things come up, so we
Yes.
like flexible.
Well, and just what because I wasn't sure. I knew I'd seen something on there where y'all had it like set up, but like $57 and your whole family is getting to embrace and create these memories together. I mean, if you were going through the line of Chick-fil-A, if you were taking your family to the movies, would cost so much more. But this is so much more than an hour and a half out at the movies. You're embracing these other cultures. But if you tried to actually take them to the other country, I know for us, I feel like there's usually about a 1,500 to $2,000 cost per person going when you're going to another. By the time you get your flights and you get your hotel stay and the food, it averages around, like I've just seen, just in general, around 1,500 a person. And so the comparison in that, to be able to still give your family members this culture, but also not have to end up spending your kids' college fund on it. But with that being said, about the cost of going on a trip and actually going there. The other side of their business is where they help you go on these trips for a very discounted and some even free instances. So, can you talk to us a little bit about that and then just share how they can sign up for the webinar? Because I know me and Randall are signed up for the webinar coming up this week because I am ready to jump on board to this other half.
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought that up. So we do have two divisions of our company, right? The one for our subscription box, because we could travel every day if we, if we could afford it, we would go every day. The other side, yes, is where we help families to utilize credit card rewards programs to basically leverage what you're already doing. So, you go to the grocery store and you use the right credit card, you swipe it, you earn points, and you take all of those points that that you earn over time, and you turn those into free trips. So we went to Japan in October, and our points covered our flights, our hotels, our train tickets, which were really expensive. I didn't know how much it would be until we had to use points for them.
Wow.
So really the only thing we had to pay for in Japan was entertainment. We went to a couple of the theme parks there, and food and any souvenirs that we brought. And technically, we could cover everything we bought in Japan with points if we wanted to. We don't use our points that way because we like to use them for the best value that we can get, right? So hotels, flights, transportation, things like that. Those are the best ways to use your points. But we teach families how to do that so that they can knock off all of those super expensive parts of their trip, and then they can actually go more often. So if you want to take more than one trip a year, if you want to go outside of the country, or even if you're not really an international traveler, you can still use your points to fly all around the United States and do it for free. I mean, it's one of those things, like if you're walking down the street and you saw $100 bill on the ground, you'd bend over and you'd pick it up, right? Because it's just free money. And that's kind of how I treat it. I know there's a lot of negative connotation to credit card rewards, and we like, the first thing we say is, if you cannot manage a credit card, please don't do it. We don't want to have anybody getting themselves into trouble financially because they wanted to earn free trips. But if you're the kind of person that has a good handle on your money, it is a no-brainer. It's the simplest thing that you can do. And I know we were talking before we started the call about you guys wanting to just take a last minute trip. And I hinted that it would be so easy for you to pay for your last minute trip because you don't have the points stacked up yet. Pay for that last minute trip and then earn yourself a free trip within like 6 months. I mean, and then you go again, right? It's this almost like a buy one, get one free deal. And it's available to everybody. We only work with people in the United States because we know those cards really well. And so we know the right way to do it here in the United States. We know the right cards that work together, and we've been doing it for years. It's how we take our kids internationally every time that we go. It's even how we go to Disney for cheap, which
Really?
Disney is not cheap. So, and we love to share this with families because we feel like that is traveling together is where those strong connections are made, where those bonds are created. And as your kids get older, then just they remember those things. They have those memories. They have that connection to you because you were able to just take the time, focus on each other, focus on these experiences, learn together, and just have such a great time. So we do have this workshop coming up, and I apologize, I do not have the link with me, but the name of that business, the credit card rewards company, is called Connected Family Travel. So if you go, we're most active on Instagram. If you go to Instagram to Connected Family Travel, you can find the link there to sign up for the workshop. You can also find it on the website too, connectedfamilytravel.com. And our subscription box, the Take Me With You box, that's the same simple thing. TakeMeWithYouBox.com is the website. And I'm most active on Instagram there too. So that's where you can find us. We would love for you to join our adventures. We'd love to have all the families come and join us, take all the trips, do all the things, and enjoy the world. That's, this wide world that's out there that I feel is so untapped, to me anyway.
Yes. Well, and Okay, so a little bit go back into the credit card thing, and I'm glad that
Yeah.
you mentioned that because Randall and I are very like no credit cards, and we're just now to a place where we're looking at it because we taught our kids not to have credit cards, and it's actually bitten them in the butt. Because I mean, and I guess you take things with what they are. So our kids, though, when they go to buy a car, can't buy a car because they don't have a credit card. My daughter couldn't get her own Wi-Fi because she didn't have a credit card because we've taught them it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And I like the way that you said it. And I heard someone else say this before too. Whereas if you have an unhealthy relationship with debt, then this is not for you. And when Randall and I married, we had an unhealthy relationship with debt. We didn't have control over our money. We both came into our marriage with a lot of debt, and it took us a lot of years to pay all of that off. And so we just had such a negative mindset. But I've watched friends use this system, and I'm like, I want to do that. But our mindset is so focused on credit card bad, that we can't it's a very hard transition. So we're signed up for the workshop that's actually, I think it's the 21st. It's like this Sunday. I
To be honest,
believe.
I don't even know what day he picked. I thought it was Wednesday, but I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe I'm I just signed up for it right beforehand because I was like, you know what? I'm excited. I want to do this. And I'm bringing Randall, in with me on it because I want him to see it as well. And we've been talking about having a business credit card so that we can put our business expenses that we are using already. These are things that we're already going to be paying for. We're not going out and buying new clothes so that we can earn points to go on a vacation. That's not the purpose. But if it's something you're already spending money on, why not use your card for that? Pay it off just like you would pay the bill off when you normally would. And then now you have these points accumulated. So
Yeah.
I'm on this adventure to learn more, and I am here along for the ride, and I will let y'all know how it goes for me. And when you see Randall and I sitting on that island with a little fruity drink in our hands and the ocean in front of us, like, just know that we succeeded in this.
And I know you can because I mean, really, it's so simple. And as long as you will pay off your card, you can even, I go to the grocery store and make a big purchase. I'll go into my car and make a payment on the card. Like you can do it within minutes. It doesn't affect anything. It doesn't change the fact that you earned the points for that. So there are a lot of things that you can do to help manage that. We have some great systems to keep track of what cards that you are using, and to also put some goals out there so you can see, this is the trip that we want to take. How can we earn this? What can we, what do we need to do? What cards should we sign up for, so that we can earn that trip for free? And, I'm a spreadsheet nerd, and I kind of made my husband a spreadsheet nerd. So we have all of these really cool systems in place so that they just kind of help you keep moving along. And we have a membership that helps you, pretty much we're an open book. So if you have questions, you just show up in the membership and ask. And we help so many families get to see the world in a way that they just never thought they could, because their financial situation wasn't super awesome. So
Yeah.
we love that we can help, open up the world in a way that maybe wasn't so open before.
Yeah, so you got two options here. You can get your box, or you can do it both, but you get your box and it comes to your door every other month and you travel the country that way, or you learn how to do this and you start financing your trip, and get all of these rewards with money that you're already spending. And if you are part of our B fam, they are giving you a 15% off of your orders. So, and in the shop, whatever you're spending it on, if you use the code BFAM15, you're going to get 15% off. So make sure that you utilize that. But if you click on the link that we give you, that'll be in the show notes, then it'll put that 15% in there. But if not, then you can type in the BFAM15 as well so that you don't miss out on that savings. And guys, the memories, just like what Mandy was saying, these are the things that are going to blend your family faster. Vacations isn't just something that you do to escape from your regular life. Vacations are things that we do because when we go and do those things together and we create these new memories together, those are the things that bond your family like no other. So if you can go far and do that, or you can take a weekend off and you can go camping, whatever that looks like, or you can go through one of these cultural and countries and explore them. These are the things that your kids are going to remember and talk about. These are the things, just like me sitting around doing a tea party with my family, or for my birthday, we did the Japan box and we were making origami and making these artistic prints that were in the box. These are your out of the box kind of thinking activities that come in here, and then you get to create these memories. So don't miss out on that. Whatever it looks like, don't miss out on it, and get your box, order it today. And then let us know. Tag, hashtag take me with you, or at them on their Instagram and tag us enjoying your blended family. We want to see you enjoying these moments. And until next time, just make sure that you are taking some time out of your busy life to enjoy your blended family. All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.